Hey, good to see our brothers and sisters here. All praises. Pull that thumbnail up again. All praise. All right, so the name of the class today is going to be "The Blood of the Covenant is Thicker Than the Water of the Womb." All right, so questions. I got a question. Who has heard something like that before? All right, what you hear, James? What you hear? Blood is thicker than water. Okay, okay. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? Family over friends. Okay. Okay. All praise. Okay. Who agrees with Brother James? Family over friends. That's what it means. Blood thicker than water. That is the modern interpretation of it. Yes, you're 100%. Um Anybody else heard any different phrases? No? Okay. Okay. You? Okay, they just use the opposite end, but it's really the same. I got you. I got you. Okay. Blood in blood. Hey, no, that's used in gangs and certain groups, but that is a thing. They saying, hey, you gotta shed some blood to come in, and if you want to leave, you gotta shed some blood, meaning die. Hey, and that is us. That's us doing the wickedness. Yeah. So hey, yeah, they do say that out in the street. Yes, sir. Blood thicker than water, but fear overrules that. Okay. I never heard that, but yeah, that's an old folk proverb. No, that's a Judah proverb right there. I haven't heard that one. That's Selma. Okay, right. Hey sis, you know about that one? No. All right. So yeah, pull it up again. Pull it up again. All right. So it says the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. So James, what you said is the modern interpretation of what that means. That family ties are more important than friends and people outside of your family, right? All right, back on me, back on me. All right, so but the real saying is actually the name of the class. The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, and it means the total opposite thing. Totally opposite, right? So let's get into it. So what James said, the common short version of it is blood is thicker than water. The full meaning is the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. The core meaning behind it is chosen commitments can outweigh inherited relationships. So that means that relationships that you have forged through either struggle or some form of pain, blood, sweat, tears, you may say, you're going to hold a higher regard to that person than your own family member. And people in the service can uh, account to what I'm saying. They can go into the service and fight on the battlefield for years. They didn't know each other before they got into the service, but then what does Esau do in his army? He breaks you down. Then he builds you back up in his morals, in his frame of mind. And those people will be closer because they went through war together, literal war together. They saw hardships together, and they built that bond together. So the meaning is actually opposite. It means that you're gonna grow bonds with people that, if you really go through some type of pain or turmoil or struggle or something like that, if you like this old saying, sweat, blood, and tears, you're gonna require them over your own family. Obviously, you had something about the service, or you? Okay, all right, all praise. All right, so yeah, so now chosen commitments can outweigh inherited relationships. Let's get that first video real quick. It's the AI one. Because most of these sayings that we say is actually backwards. It's wrong. It means quite the opposite. Blood is thicker than water. It's totally different. Y'all got it, IT? It's all right. The gremlin got into the system again. Right when we go forward. Now the gremlin jumping in. All right, let's go a little further with this. All right, so covenant versus kinship. So when you go through some type of pain, hold on. So when you go through some type of pain or struggle, you're going to who played football in here or any type of sport back in the past? All right. And y'all remember the corporal punishment when if somebody do something bad and the coach punish that one person or the whole team? The whole team got to feel it. So after that whole team feel it, you actually try to be responsible for the weakest link to make sure they're never the weakest link no more. And then y'all do move as a unit because now that builds accountability. And that's something that's forged in this type of saying, the blood of the covenant, because now you're making a pact through struggle, through turmoil, through pain. All right? Y'all good, IT? No. Dang. IT. Yeah. All right. So let's just go ahead and get into it. You said what? Yes. Give me Romans 15:4, reader. Let's start off right. I got gremlins in the system.
The book of Romans, chapter 15 and verse 4.
Uh-huh.
For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
Read on.
That we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope.
So the things that was written aforetime is really meant for us to learn from now, extract from the past, to use it in our present, to make a better future for ourselves. All right, so let's get some ideas. So I want to kind of go into the blood of the covenant. Let me get some definitions before we get further in. Give me the definition of covenant and give me the definition of solemn. Oh, they got the first video now? All right, let's get it. And they had that second video ready too.
The proverb, blood is thicker than water, conveys the meaning of family bonds being stronger than friendship. However, this proverb is a mistranslation of the original saying, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. The meaning is that bonds that are formed between two people by choice are stronger than family bonds.
You see that? So bonds that are forged by two people by choice, meaning there is a conscious effort to keep this bond or this relationship together. So now y'all gonna work for each other to try to keep each other's interests at heart, to keep that relationship strengthened. So it's a lot different, kind of similar to even in the scriptures where it talks about when the man finds his wife, how they're supposed to become one flesh, and then he caters to her and not to his father's house no more. You got your own house. It's the same thing. When those relationships grow, it's different responsibilities that is beckoned upon you. So let's get it. Y'all had the other video? Let's get it. Let's get it going.
Well, blood is thicker than water. That phrase has been taken out of context. Blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, is how that goes. Meaning, The blood that men spill together when they're broken, when they're in battle, when they're going through the shit together, when they're doing hardship together, that will bond men more than men who have shared the water of the womb. That's powerful, man.
Yeah.
We must be broken with love and to be grown and healed whole again. But again, the world has gotten so good at bubble wrapping, and let's not offend you.
You see that? You must be broken with love to be brought up in it. Because a lot of us don't even know what love is. Actually, let's get there real quick. Give me that, reader, real quick. Let's see what love is according to the Bible. Because a lot of us are so messed up. Like, we all thought that blood is thicker than water, thought it meant your family goes before everybody. But that's not the case. So if we got a mistranslation of that saying, what else are we being lied to about? Love. Read that.
The book of 1 John, chapter 5 and verse 3.
Uh-huh.
For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
You see that? The love of God is the keeping of his commandments. And his commandments are not hard to do. They're not grievous. So there's nothing wrong about thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not covet. There's nothing evil about it. And then it's not even hard to do. All right? So let's get the definitions. I need the definition of covenant, and I need the definition of solemn. Covenant and solemn. So now that we understand that that was a misrepresentation, let's get what a covenant is. Control plus, please. Thank you.
A covenant is a formal, solemn, and binding agreement or promise between two or more parties.
All right, stop right there. Let's define solemn before we move further. It's a formal or solemn and binding agreement. Let's define what solemn is. Let's define that real quick.
Solemn, formal, and dignified.
Go down.
Number 2, not cheerful or smiling or serious.
So it's a formal, dignified way of handling things. It's serious, and read the last one.
Characterized by deep sincerity.
And it's sincere. So you really mean what you're saying when you make this covenant or this agreement with this person or this person, right? You're sincere in it, you're serious about it, and then it's going to be a dignified way of how you handle everything. All right, let's go back to covenant now. Let's go back to covenant.
A covenant is a formal, solemn,
Or serious, sincere, read.
and binding agreement or promise between two or more parties, often involving a commitment to do or refrain from a specific action.
That is beautiful right there, right? That's beautiful. It's often involving a commitment to do or refrain from a specific action. So that means that you understand this person enough not to offend them willfully, but at the same time, both of your agreements are honored. Watch this. Sirach 25 and 1. Sirach 25, verse 1.
The book of Sirach, chapter 25 and verse 1. In 3 things I was beautified and stood up beautiful, both before God and men. The unity of brethren, the love of neighbors, a man and a wife that agree together.
So all 3 of those things share one common bond, which is relationships. All those 3 things are the relationships of brother to brother, brother to nation, and then brother to wife. All those are relationships, showing you that I'm gonna actually go through to show how heavy a covenant is. All right. So let's go back all the way to the past. When covenants are made, remember, this is the blood of the covenant, right? So every time a covenant is made, blood is shed to honor it, to really bind the agreement. I'm going to show you in history. Let's go to Genesis chapter 6, start at verse 5.
The book of Genesis chapter 6 and verse 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually.
Read on.
And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart.
Read.
And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord.
Read on.
These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations. And Noah walked with God.
So Noah was perfect and he walked with God. So he performed the commandments that God gave him. Now, it repented God to create man. Why? It was so much evil going on the earth at this time. It was murder, lust, envy, covetousness, war. All the things that we're seeing now, it happened then. I'm going to say it again. All the things that we're seeing now happened back then. Even down to the wicked music. It was music at this time too. Made by Cain's line. It's the same thing now. So, jump down to verse 18.
Verse 18. But with thee will I establish my covenant.
So with Noah is God going to establish his covenant. Read.
And thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons, and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee.
So I want y'all to see a pattern. The Lord is saying something first before the action goes forth. Almost like writing it down first, then he acts upon it. Now let's jump over to Genesis 9, verse 8 now.
The book of Genesis chapter 9 and verse 8. And God spake unto Noah and to his sons with him, saying, And I, behold, I establish my covenant with you and with your seed after you.
Read on.
And with every living creature that is with you, of the fowl, of the cattle, and of every beast of the earth with you, from all that go out of the ark to every beast of the earth. And I will establish my covenant with you, neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood.
Read.
Neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth.
You see that? This covenant is for the Lord to remember not to flood the earth to kill all flesh again. That's not saying that floods happen in certain places, in diverse places, and certain people die. No. He's saying the entire earth is not going to have the flood again, meaning everybody on the planet ain't going to die from water this time. Read.
And God said, This is the token of the covenant which I make between me and you.
So the token is a sign or something to signify the remembrance of this covenant that he's making with Noah at this time. Read.
And every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. I do set my bow in the cloud.
Read on.
And it shall be for a token of
sign. Read.
Of a covenant between me and the earth.
So the bow is the rainbow. The bow again is the rainbow. So the rainbow is a sign for God not to flood the earth and kill all mankind with water no more. Read.
And it shall come to pass when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the cloud. And I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh. And the water shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. And the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth.
So you see that? So I know y'all seen when it rains, sometimes you'll see a rainbow in the sky. Now we see why. That's actually God saying, hey, that's my promise to all flesh on this planet, I'm not going to get y'all by water. It's going to be a different type of cleansing this next time coming around. A little hot. It ain't going to be cold and watery. Nah, it's going to be hot. But outside of that, I want y'all to see, how was this covenant made? The Lord made it with who? Noah. How was it enacted? What blood was shed for this covenant to go out? Stand up. I can't hear you. The wicked at that time. So yes. So their blood had to be shed for this covenant to be enacted. That's one example. So a lot of blood had to be spilled for God to say, you know what? This is a covenant that I'm not going to flood the earth no more, right? Let's get another example. Let's go to Genesis chapter 15, verse 1. We're going to read to verse 6.
The book of Genesis chapter 15 and verse 1. After these things, the word of the Lord came unto Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward.
Read.
And Abram said, Lord God, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless? And the steward of my house is this Eliezer of Damascus. And Abram said, Behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is mine heir. And behold, the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, This shall not be thine heir, but he that shall come forth out of thine own bowels shall be thine heir.
So the Lord is prophesying to Abraham, saying, no, you're going to have your own son come from your bowels to be your heir. Read.
And he brought him forth abroad and said, Look now toward heaven, and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, So shall thy seed be.
So Abram don't have any children right now. But the Lord is saying, your seed is going to exceed the stars of heaven. And next verse.
And he believed in the Lord, and he counted it to him for righteousness.
So in Abraham seeing the stars of heaven and the Lord saying, hey, your seed is going to be as this, at that time he believed. It was nothing, this is the faith portion first. This is faith right here. So nothing happened yet. The Lord is just telling him what is to happen. And he believed it right off the bat, like, yep, that's going to be me. I'm going to have many sons and many children like the Lord commanded. Let's see it being enacted now. Genesis 17, verse 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 17 and verse 1. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty God. Walk before me and be thou perfect.
Read.
And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly.
So that walking before God, who else walked before God? Noah. And it says in chapter 15 that Abram believed. So that means everything that the Lord commanded Abram to do, he did it to the T. That's what belief is. Belief is an action. Has nothing to do with an idyllic feeling that you believe something is there when you can't even prove it. No, that's not how God works. God is a God of knowledge. And by him, actions are weighed. So that means he's going to have an action, and then he'll tell you, then the action will follow afterward. That's just how our God works. Read again.
And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly.
Read on.
And Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations.
Like he stated in Genesis 15. Read.
Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham.
Why?
For a father of many nations have I made thee.
That's what Abraham means, a father of many nations. Read.
And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee, in their generations for an everlasting covenant.
Read on.
To be a God unto thee and to thy seed after thee.
Read.
And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God.
So I want y'all to really look at this as a contract right here. The Lord speaking it, that's him writing it up right there. That's him writing up the contract. As he speak it, what is the saying? Word is bond. That's it right there. He's actually speaking what is going to happen, but there's an action that follows through that shows if you honor that covenant or not. Verse 9.
Verse 9. And God said unto Abraham, thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore.
Read.
Thou and thy seed after thee in their generations.
So we even have to keep this covenant. Read on.
This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised.
Read.
And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant.
It's going to be a sign of the covenant. Read.
Betwixt me and you.
So really, every time a man has to use the restroom, he's reminded of that said covenant. You're reminded every time. You got to use the restroom. You got to shower. You're reminded of that covenant that God created and made with Abraham, your forefather. So that's the covenant of promise. But what was the blood shed? Because that seals the deal. When blood is shed, that seals the deal with the Heavenly Father. What blood was shed? Yeah, stand up, James. Yeah, I saw your hand up first. I don't want no scary brothers. Go ahead. Good. When you circumcise the foreskin, the blood runs forth. That's the blood that was required. That's the sign that's between us and the Most High God, honoring this agreement, honoring this covenant. So, again, that was bloodshed. Also, you had something before I move on?
Yeah, you said we are reminded every time we go to the bathroom. So for you brothers who are not reminded, you still have to get snipped. All right, so if you ain't got snipped, get snipped.
Yes, so you can be reminded. But that covenant is very important with the covenant of promise. Because keep reading. We're gonna read why.
Verse 12. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations. He that is born in the house or bought with money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed.
So this goes into our children, adopted children, anybody that's in your house, they have to follow this covenant. Read.
He that is born in thy house and he that is bought with thy money must needs be circumcised. And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant.
And everlasting means it never ends. It's to this day. Read.
And the uncircumcised man child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He have broken my covenant.
So now the covenant was made for Abraham's sake. But for what? Remember what he promised them? He promised him to have children as the multitude of the stars of heaven. And he promised them the kingdom of heaven. So when you honor this covenant, in a way, you're binding yourself to the agreement through your forefather. This is one of the major reasons why the children of Israel is getting the kingdom of heaven, is this covenant here. Very important. All right, let's go to the next covenant. So the first covenant was the wicked people on the earth died, their blood was shed. That's how the rainbow came about. The second covenant was the covenant of promise through Abraham, going into circumcision. The blood of the foreskin, that was that sign of the covenant. The next one, go to Exodus 24, verse 3.
The book of Exodus, chapter 24 and verse 3. And Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord and all the judgments. And all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which the Lord have said will we do. And Moses wrote all the words of the Lord, and rose up early in the morning, and builded an altar under the hill, and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel.
I want y'all to see a pattern. Moses this time is writing it. So instead of word being bond, he's actually making a contract. Read.
And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto the Lord.
Read.
And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people.
So you see the book of the covenant, that's the law, statutes, and commandments, as well as what he was writing that they had to bind themselves to. The judgments. Read.
And they said, all that the Lord hath said will we do, and be. Verse 8. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people, and said.
So the blood from the sacrifice, the burnt offerings, and the peace offerings from before, that's the blood that he took, and he sprinkled it on the people when they made the agreement. Read.
And said, behold, the blood of the covenant.
The what?
The blood of the covenant.
The judgments. Read.
Which the Lord have made with you concerning all these words.
So you see that the blood of the covenant was signified after they agreed. Then he sprinkled the blood. That was them binding that contract. So now we have to hold ourselves to the judgments now. The pain of breaking said covenant. That's that blood of the covenant. All right. So this is the law of sacrifice. This was introduced. Why? It was for the atonement of certain said sins. But it was certain sins that you had to die for, meaning there was no animal sufficient or good enough for that sin, so you had to die in its place. Those animals that died in your place were scapegoats for your own life, but blood was still required. All right? We're going to get further into that later. The next example, go to Tobit chapter 7, verse 11. The next covenant. Tobit 7 and 11.
The book of Tobit, chapter 7 and verse 11. I have given my daughter in marriage to 7 men who died that night. They came.
Wait. Start at verse 2. I want to get the context. Start at verse 2.
Tobit chapter 7 and verse 2. Then said Raguel to Edna his wife, how like is this young man to Tobit my cousin?
Read on.
And Raguel asked them, from whence are ye, brethren? To whom they said, we are of the sons of Naphtali, which are captives in Nineveh.
So this is very heavy because a lot of people in the Israelite community love going to the Mosaic law to say that you can marry all type of sisters and all this stuff. But I'm actually going this route to show you order. As you can see, there's a father involved. This father is talking to the man, the potential man that could marry his daughter, meaning that there was a buffer between the father, or there was a buffer between the daughter and another man, which is the father. Keep reading.
Verse 4. Then he said to them, do ye know Tobit our kinsman? And they said, we know him. Then said he, is he in good health?
Read.
And they said, he is both alive and in good health.
Read.
And Tobiah said, he is my father.
Read.
Then Raguel leaped up and kissed him and wept and blessed him and said unto him, thou art the son of an honest and good man.
Read.
But when he had heard that Tobit was blind, he was sorrowful and wept.
So you see that the father took a report of who he was, where he come from, who is his family, who is his stock. When he found out it was Tobit, he like, oh, Tobit is a good man. And you his son? Oh, yes. And then he felt sorry that his cousin eyes are gone because of the, what is that? The dung from the bird. So outside of that, you see how there was a report given of the man of inquiry to the daughter? That's the natural order of things. it must be a buffer between the woman and her future husband. You know why? Because there's a lot of sisters that had it their way and still haven't found that knight in shining armor. Yeah. So there's a reason why y'all need buffers and men to vet other men. You know why? Because men play games too. It ain't women that just play games. It's men too. So you need a good father to vet this boy. Hey, who your father? Where you come from? What's this? What's that? What? How much money you got in your bank account? What is this going on? They have to vet you. This is scriptural. So if you feel some type of way, so what? That's scripture. That means you got the devil on you. If you feel some type of way, it don't matter. It really don't. All right, let's keep reading. Jump down to verse 11 now.
Verse 11.
Read.
I have given my daughter in marriage to 7 men who died that night they came in and took.
So now, Raguel is telling Tobit a report of his daughter. He's not just saying, hey, you want to marry my daughter? You want a friend? Nah, he ain't saying that. He's saying, hey, all right, I got to tell you, this is a report on my daughter now. Now I got to tell you some stuff that my daughter's going through. After he inquired about who the brother is, or that man that is good enough for his daughter, now he gonna be like, all right, let me tell you some things that's going on. Keep reading.
Nevertheless, for the present be merry. But Tobiah said, I will eat nothing here till we agree and swear one to another.
So now Raguel already told him, hey, it's 7 men that died already. They just dropped dead in the marriage chamber. I got to tell you this because I don't want you to be the 8th. And that's out of love. You tell the evil that's going, if your daughter got some evil in her, you as the father got to say, hey, she has tendencies of being bull strong. She does do this. She may talk back at times. This is her pushing points. That's the father. He going to tell you these things. So you are prepared before you even get into the marriage. You had something else?
Yeah, and the reason why people do backdoor marriage and don't involve the parents is for that reason, because they know there's some things within them, and they're not going to tell you because for whatever you present to them looks good. So people who don't include fathers or the spirits of fathers inside of their marriage and backdoor, when you get what you got, you can't be mad at nobody but yourself, because you went about doing it the wrong way. So that's why we got ladies in waiting set up. That's why we got the 300 program set up. And people who don't want to attend the ladies in waiting or do the 300 program, they're not marriage material, because those programs are set up for you to be successful. It's not set up for you to fail. But when you don't want to include leadership in your issue, you know what I'm saying, we know you got another agenda.
100%, officer. 100. All right, let's finish that out.
Verse 12. Raguel said, then take her from henceforth, according to the manner, for thou art her cousin, and she is thine. And the merciful God give you good success in all things.
So after Tobit heard all that, he like, hey, I still want to see her. I'm still interested. You know why? Because his guide already told him what to do and how to act. His guide, somebody that was proven by his father to travel with him to his cousin's house. Again, it's still things going with the father. Fathers and leaders are involved in the matters of their children because they want the best for their kids. All right, jump down to 13.
Verse 13. Then he called his daughter Sarah, and she came to her father, and he took her by the hand and gave her to be wife to Tobias, saying, behold, take her after the law of Moses, and lead her away to thy father. And he blessed them, and called Edna his wife, and took paper, and did write an instrument of covenants, and sealed it.
You see that? After the father was involved, he said, hey, you can take my daughter as your wife. And then they got the instrument signed. So it wasn't even no hanky-panky yet. Nothing of that sort. And this is the matter of how you're supposed to move. Then he says, take him after the law of Moses. Now let's get into the law of Moses. Deuteronomy 22:13. It was none of the funny business yet. So that means that, yes, Tobias was married at this point. When the wife was given unto him and he signed those covenants and instruments after the law of Moses, he was married.
So sex doesn't solidify the marriage, is what you're saying.
Sex is nowhere. That's just a small, minute portion of marriage. But marriage started when the father agreed to the son-in-law, and then they wrote in papers who this wife belongs to. That's almost like the father signing over his ownership from his daughter to this trusted man now. That's all that is, because he wants his daughter to be taken care of. Read that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22 and verse 13.
Uh-huh.
If any man take a wife and go in unto her
Read.
and hate her.
So this is the wicked nickel right here. Read.
And give occasions of speech against her.
Read.
And bring up an evil name upon her. And say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid. Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate.
So you see that tokens of virginity is still a sign to prove that she was a virgin, right? So how they gonna do that? Read.
And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hated her. And lo, he have given occasions of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid.
So I didn't find her a virgin. Read.
And yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity, and they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city.
And this type of man just wanted to lay down with the sister and move on. This was one that was invoked in lust. That's all they wanted. They just wanted a quick hit. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. That's it. That's all they wanted. But now he's holding his feet to the fire saying, hey, wait a minute. We have the tokens of virginity. Read that last part again.
And lo, he have given occasions of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid, and yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity.
So they had sheets with what on it? It was blood. Why? Because of the hymen of the woman. If she's a virgin, the first time it's gonna be on the sheets. That blood is on the sheet. So now that was a sign or a token that she was a virgin, and you was the man that took it. Now there's read more about it. Verse 19.
Verse 19. And they shall immerse him 100 shekels of silver, and give them unto the father of the damsel, because he have brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel.
Read.
And she shall be his wife. He may not put her away all his days.
So he complained against her. Now he got to pay the dowry, and then he can never put this woman away. Never. Because you lied on a daughter of Israel that was righteous. She actually did it the right way. But because you didn't find no favor in her, oh nah, she got a little mole right here. I don't like that. I don't like how she did this and that. No. That means your spirit ain't right as the man. So for marriage, that marriage is a covenant. That covenant was solidified through what? Blood. After the agreement was signified and made, now they consummate the marriage. And in that consummation process, it completes the binding agreement. And what is it completed with? Blood. Now jump over to Matthew 27:25. All this is still the blood of the covenant.
The book of Matthew, chapter 27 and verse 25. Then answered all the people and said, his blood be upon us and on our children.
So you see that after Christ was about to get offered up, the people was like, no, his blood is going to be on us and all of our children. They don't know what they were saying, but they was entering into a new covenant. So Christ was amending the first covenant. Let's go to Hebrews real quick. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 1. Then we're going to backtrack to chapter 9.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 10 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
For the law, having a shadow of good things to come, and not the very image of the things, can never with those sacrifices which they offered year by year continually make the comers thereunto perfect.
So there were certain sins that could not be forgiven under the old covenant. Why? Because you had to die in its place. But when Christ died, now those sacrifices, you don't need them no more. Because Christ's atonement or Christ's death or his blood covers all manner of sin. Is that it on that?
Yes, sir.
All right, jump down to Hebrews 9 now. Jump over to verse 13.
Hebrews chapter 9 and verse 13. For if the blood of bulls and of goats and the ashes of an heifer sprinkling the unclean sanctifieth to the purifying of the flesh.
So if it sanctify or cleanse to the purifying of the flesh or that sin of the person, read.
How much more shall the blood of Christ, who through the eternal Spirit offered himself without spot to God,
read,
purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living God.
So those dead works are those old sacrifices, meaning the blood of Christ covers all manner of sin now. Read.
And for this cause, he is the mediator of the New Testament.
So now he's the mediator of the New Testament. Why? He amended the old. And it was the judgments of the old that was amended. Meaning you may have like mercy or grace, but you still have to pay that wager, which is keep this said commandment. Read.
That by means of death, for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament, which they which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance.
So this was the caveat to receive that eternal inheritance. Meaning now we can repent of all manner of sin. Because remember, like the sin of idolatry. That was a major sin amongst Northern Kingdom that had us go all the way off. And then Judah started to get into idolatrous practices. So Christ is cleaning the slate, showing that, hey, y'all, through my blood, through this new covenant, y'all can now come back to the Father through me. Read.
For where a testament is, there must also of necessity be the death of the testator.
Read on.
For a testament is of force after men are dead.
So the testament only goes into effect after the person dies, just like a living will. It's the same principle. Read.
Otherwise, it is of no strength at all while the testator liveth.
Meaning while he was alive, this was already in the works, but while he was alive, it had no effect yet. But then when he died, the New Testament come into effect and the old one diminishes. So that was made by what? Blood. It was Christ's blood that signified that covenant. So now we have what? 5 different covenants now. A covenant of the rainbow, the covenant of promise through Abraham, the covenant or the sacrificial laws through Moses, the covenant of marriage, and the new covenant under Christ. All those, it was the blood of the covenant that put them into effect. Now, let's get back to some questions. So now, that is the blood of the covenant. So now, chosen bonds share struggles, mutual commitment. The water of the womb is biological family or inherited roles. Now, my question is, can blood relations fail us? That means family relationships. Can they fail you? How? Good, good. I like that. I like that. Let's prove that point. Go to Matthew chapter 16 now. I'm sorry, 10. I want to get straight to the point. Go to 10:21.
The book of Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 21.
So in the context, this is after getting the understanding of Christ, and now you're professing Christ in the street, right? Read.
And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death.
Read.
And the father the child.
Read.
And the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death.
These are family against family. Because you're professing Christ, now they look at you like, wait a minute. Who is this person? Who is this? This ain't my daughter. This ain't the son of mine. I don't know who you are. Now they scared. Now they'll offer you up to death. Read.
And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But he that endureth to the end shall be saved.
So those spirits that endure that hatred, that endure the variance between family members, and I'm talking about nuclear family relationships. If you can endure that, hey, all praise to the Most High. Keep reading.
But when they persecute you in this city, flee ye into another.
Read.
For verily I say unto you, ye shall not have gone over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come.
So now that's constant moving around. Why? Because your own family could fail you. Once you start professing Christ, once things start getting serious, now they're gonna be like, nah, he in that cult, she in that cult. They hate all people on the planet. They don't have the love of Jesus in them. Y'all know how y'all parents talk, and y'all know I'm not lying. All of us had this conversation with our loved ones, right? So good, Uziel. This is one reason how they can fail us. Now, can chosen family surpass blood family? That means one that is through the blood of the covenant, one that is held through struggle, pain, perseverance. Can they have a stronger relationship, or could they surpass your own blood relative? How? You say yes? How? %, Officer Duell. 100%. Go ahead.
Get Matthew 12 and 48. Because a lot of times, like when we first, I say this a lot. Well, I have said this before. Like my very, very first year in the truth, around this time of year, around Thanksgiving, around Christmas time, it was a difficult time for me. Because, I was the person that was always at the family functions, eating turkey din, and, you know what I'm saying? That was me. I had the Christmas hat on. That was me. I was doing that. So when I came into the truth, it was in the summer, right? So around August. So I had been in the truth maybe close to 6 months. And then now here come the holidays when all your cousins and your aunties and everybody's in town. So now I'm not there, right? So I'm getting called. I mean, it was like call after call after call from different people asking me why I'm not around. Why you ain't here? Why you ain't there? Oh, come and see so-and-so. You don't have to eat. You don't have to eat Thanksgiving. We just want to see you. Just come, right? It got to the point where now they cussing me out because I haven't done anything to anybody, but I'm literally getting cussed out on the phone because I'm not at these functions, right? Watch this. Go to, you got the scripture, right? Matthew?
Yes, sir.
12, read that.
The book of Matthew, chapter 12 and verse 48. But he answered and said unto him that told him, who is my mother and who are my brethren?
So Christ is getting, who is thy mother and who is thy brethren, right? Read on.
And he stretched forth his hand towards his disciples.
The brothers who've been laboring with him, he stretched forth his hand to the brothers who've been laboring with him. Read.
And said, behold, my mother and my brethren.
So he said, this is my mother and my brothers, the sisters and the brothers who I labor with. Read on.
For whosoever shall do the will of my Father.
So now he making it plain. So whoever is doing the will of the Father. What's the will of the Father, brothers? Keeping what? Keeping the commandments. Whoever keeping the commandments, read.
Whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother.
So those are the people, those are now your brothers, your sisters, your children. Those are your new family members right now. And that's how we got to look at it. Yeah, you know, in that point of time, I may have broken ties with my family member at that time, but they'll get over it. They'll get over it. I got a new family now. I got new mothers. I got new sisters. I got new brothers. I got new nieces and nephews. My family is bigger now than it is in the world, right? So that's how we got to look at it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just read Galatians 6 and verse 10. You know, actually, I want to touch on the first question about can blood relations fail us? Like, how many of y'all in here still have issues or don't talk to y'all family members, biological family members at all? Give me a reason why you don't talk to them. You know, did they cross you or what happened? Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Right. So just because you have blood ties with somebody, they can still not have the same values or integrity or character traits that you look for in the individual who lives his life after Christ. And I'm gonna give you a perfect example of that. I said Galatians, but give me Genesis 37 and verse 1, right? Because y'all know Jacob had 12 sons, right? And what ended up happening to Joseph? His brother sold him. Why did his brother sell him into slavery? Jealous and hatred, right? How many of y'all in here have family members who probably hate y'all guts or jealous of y'all? When we went on these different functions in during Christmas time and Thanksgiving or whatever, a lot of people only came around just to stunt or show off some of the things that they had, you know what I'm saying, that their family members didn't have. I know there's a lot of function that I went to, that's how it was. It wasn't because we genuinely love and want to be around each other. It's so we can stunt and show my family what I got and what they ain't got. Read Genesis.
Hey, also, they usually cause arguments.
Yeah, of
right?
Those arguments always happen.
Right, those arguments, those old past grudges and traumas usually come out in those family functions. So you right on point.
Especially with that liquor.
Yep, that liquor come out is right.
That liquid courage. That's when all the drama come out. Read that, Genesis 37.
What verse?
Start at verse 1.
Verse 1. Genesis chapter 37 and verse 1. Mm-hmm. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, and in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren. And the lad was with the sons of Bilhah, and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age. Mm-hmm. And he made him a coat of many colors.
So Jacob favored Joseph because he was the son of his old age. And a lot of times that be the case in our family functions. You know what I'm saying? We have favorites, or you have favorites, and your family tend to hate you just because your mother loved you above all her other children. It ain't that she love you more. You may have some traits that she like a little bit more compared to all her other sons, right? Now jump to verse 9.
Verse 9. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me.
Go ahead.
And he told it to his father and to his brethren. And his father rebuked him and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee to the earth?
So Joseph had a dream. What was this dream about that he had? Anybody know? What you got? Hold up. What's your name? Dove, brother Dove. This is my man right here. Dexter, that's your brother. Yes. So what the dream is about? Okay, like when did they bow down to him? Right. So he had a prophetic vision of what was going to happen. And his father rebuked him because he said, shall we bow down to you? But then if you read verse 11 again.
Verse 11. And his brethren envied him, but his father observed the saying.
So his father took note because he understands spiritual matters. Like what makes family is the goals or the visions that we have for our future. We have shared values. None of us prior to coming in here knew each other. But the only reason we're here is why? It's because of God's commandments. You know what I'm saying? Some of us was from this side of the world, that side of the world, but somehow we all here together as a family because we share the same value. We share the same goal, right? So just because you family, it doesn't mean that blood is thicker than water. Now read verse 18.
Verse 18. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. Mm-hmm. And they said one to another, behold, this dreamer cometh. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him and cast him into some pit. And we will say, some evil beasts have devoured him. And we shall see what will become of his dream.
Now, you would think that just because these his brothers, that they would have that mentality, well, this is my brother, we'll never kill him. But they conspired to kill his brother. And it was one that stood up and said, no, we can't kill him. You know what I'm saying? We got to, Reuben, that was Reuben. We got to save him. You know what I'm saying? We can't kill him. We're going to have to say something happened to him and sell him. But the fact of the matter is, this was his family. His family was willing to do this to him. And even in all this, because I don't want to go through the whole thing, but Joseph never held a grudge. He was upset. But then even when that time came for him to save his brothers and sisters, he did that because of the values that he had within himself. So just because you got family members, maybe you got a large family or a brother or sister, whatever, what makes us family is the goals and the shared values that we have. That's what's going to bring us together, because Joseph could have been as bitter as his brother was. And when they came to him, I ain't saving these niggas. They sold me into slavery. But nah, he understood what God was telling him in that vision. And regardless of how he got treated by his brother, he still dealt with them the same way. That's what separates us from some of our family members in here. Our family members don't live by the morals and standards that we live by. If they had the chance to give us up, they will give us up. And you a fool if you don't believe that. I say you a fool because the Bible say they'd give us up. The only thing that we have in common is God's commandments. So regardless of how you do me, I still have to read Luke 17:1. Many offenses going to come, but you got to forgive them. That's what we live by. Our parents don't live by that, so we can't trust them. There is no middle ground to this. It's either good, you either on the right side or you on the wrong side. So if you think just because that's my mama or that's my dad or that's my brother, they won't betray me, you forsaking yourself. You stupid. Because the Bible say otherwise. Sorry for being so long-winded, officer.
No, you good, bro. Hey, I love it. Hey, officer, you had something? Go ahead.
Yeah, going to push it, turkey back. Another example of that happened in the history. Let's go to 1 Samuel 18. Let's start at verse 18, verse 1. Hey, like Abdul said, you know, your family members, they can turn on you. And we'll turn on you by if they can jump out of the spirit. They'll show you that a father about to put his own son to death because of his friend who he loved. Come on, let's go to 1 Samuel 18, verse 1. Read all the way down to 3.
The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 18 and verse 1. Mm-hmm. And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking unto Saul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David. And Jonathan loved him as his own soul.
Jonathan did what?
Loved him as his own soul.
Jonathan loved David. Come on.
And Saul took him that day and would let him go no more home to his father's house.
Come on.
Then Jonathan and David made a covenant because he loved him as his own soul.
You see that? They made a covenant because Jonathan loved David that much. That's a good covenant between you and a friend. So let's go 1 Samuel 20 and 30.
Book of 1 Samuel, chapter 20 and verse 30. Then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan.
Then this when Saul got an evil spirit on him. He started hating David. Come on.
And said unto him, thou son of the perverse, rebellious woman.
Look at him. He cussing his own son out because of David. Calling his mother a rebellious woman. Come on.
Do not I know that thou hast chosen the son of Jesse to thine own confusion?
Jump to verse 33. Now he's so mad at his son because the covenant Jonathan wouldn't go against David for him because, you know, they rode together. He loved David and David loved Jonathan. Come on.
Verse 33. And Saul cast a javelin at him to smite him.
Look at that. Hold on. Did what?
And Saul cast a javelin at him to smite him.
His own father was about to try to put his own son to death. That's how much evil he came against his own son. Sometimes your family show you that your family will put you to death if they really get that spirit of hate you. Just be careful around your family sometimes.
Hey, that was beautiful, officer. Hey, because that you killed two birds with one stone with that example. You show how a love of another brother, because remember, Jonathan was Benjamin and David was Judah. So it shows you that David and Jonathan's love for one another surpass their own family. And what does that love mean? I got to get that because there's some nasty Christians online. Y'all nasty homosexual filled Christians. Y'all need to stop thinking nasty. Let's go back to 1 Samuel 18. Start at verse 3 and 4.
1 Samuel chapter 18 and verse 3. Then Jonathan and David made a covenant because he loved him as his own soul.
Read on.
And Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him and gave it to David and his garments, even to his sword and to his bow and to his girdle.
See, these nasty Christians would be like, oh, yeah, they loved each other in another way. No. When it says that he loved himself as his own soul, what law is that? Other than Brother James. Because I'm seeing who don't study. Yes, sir. That's it right there. All praises. Love your neighbor as yourself. So, Jonathan loving David as his own soul, that's as himself. Leviticus 19:17. Real quick. Time is of the essence.
The book of Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
So hatred starts in the mind first before it's acted out in your body. So the hatred is up here first. Read.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
You're supposed to correct your neighbor. Read.
And not suffer sin upon him.
Read on.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
As thy own soul. So think about it. For Jonathan to give David his clothes on his back, his sword, and his bow. When you read in the scriptures, Jonathan was a bad man with the bow and arrow. He was a bad man. So for him to give him his favorite possessed weapon and say, hey, you take this. That's love right there. And David receiving it, he understood that was love.
Because he told I think when he tried to put on Saul armor, he said, I have not proven these.
Right.
But he took his stuff because he understood the relationship. And for the brothers that go to camp, you know how important it is to have your own Bible when you read it.
All right.
You don't get nobody else's Bible because you got you got stuff marked down just the way you want it. So to get somebody else's stuff and you take it and use it, that means a lot for the men who go to war.
You haven't proved his chainmail yet. So you can't read it. It's like, oh, that precept should be over there. So in like manner, it's nothing homosexual because what does the Bible say about that? It's sin. So, and then it says in the New Testament, it's abusing of yourself with mankind. So how Jonathan loving David, why would he abuse that man? It makes no sense, right? You nasty, dirty Christians. Stop thinking that it was a homosexual act going on. Stop that. And read the laws of God for once. All right, so the last one is, what makes a relationship a covenant instead of convenience? Good question, huh? Let's see what the scriptures got to say. Give me Sirach chapter 6. We're going to start at verse 7.
The book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 7.
Read.
If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him.
So if you were to get a friend, you have to prove that friend according to what? According to what? The laws and commandments of God. So now, proving just means to test them, to see if they're doing it or not, right? Read.
For some man is a friend for his own occasion.
This that by convenience. Read.
And will not abide in the day of thy trouble.
So when you in trouble, you remember that dude on YouTube? He do that, just disappear. Hey, that's how they are. When your day of trouble come, they're nowhere to be found. They don't even give you a phone call. Read.
And there is a friend who being turned to enmity and strife will discover thy reproach.
So there's another friend or another person, when they're turned to hatred and strife, now they want to tell all your secrets. Now they want to reveal all your business to everybody. Well, yeah, you know he wet the bed. What? Bruh, what you talking about? what you talking about, bruh? that was between me and thee. So this is another type of person. This is something to prove them or test them off of. If they're not there in your time of trouble, they ain't no friend. If they are revealing your secrets to Tom, Dick, and Harry and Jane, Susie, and Jane, they ain't your friend. Read.
Again, some friend is a companion at the table and will not continue in the day of thy affliction.
Read on.
But in thy prosperity, he will be as thyself and will be bold over thy servants.
Y'all need to pay attention to that. When the moneyon's looking good, all the money coming in, and you had that one person that you always buy, and they like, hey, move aside. This is such and such. Yeah, getting all the chicken nuggets, all of them. And then they're not even they don't even have no type of grace when it comes down to food. Like, I was always taught, if I say, are you hungry? That means that I have to pay your meal because I'm asking you. That's an invite that I'm asking you to, hey, come, let's eat. This friend to be like, oh yeah, nah, Keaton, he'll pay for it. What? Wait a minute. Well, we made that covenant. We made that agreement. So these are people to stay away from. And these people are in the world. Some of them have fringes and a border of blue too. They say they Israel, but they're not of Israel. Keep going.
Verse 12. If thou be brought low, he will be against thee and will hide himself from thy face.
Now when you poor, he ain't there for you. He ain't even trying to build you back up to that estate that you was. That's not a friend. Read.
Separate thyself from thine enemies.
You see how before it was calling it a friend, but it says separate thyself from thine enemies? It's telling you that we use the term friend too lightly. We call everybody our friend because we have one shared goal. Oh, I like that movie. And we talked about it. Oh, yeah, that's my friend. Like, you got to really think about it. To be somebody's friend is a high regard. This is my ace boon coon. This meaning this person, I'm willing to take shots for them and vice versa. They know what it is. And if I'm going off, they're going to correct me. If they going off, I'm correcting them to get them right back on track. That's a friend. But a lot of us prove in the truth and we get enemies or frenemies as they call them. And then we mistaken those as friends, and then when they burn you and they show all the signs that they was your enemy, but you didn't want to read all the signs, then they burn you. Now you jaded. Now, oh, it ain't no perfect people no more. Now everybody is wrong. I can't trust nobody. I have trust issues. No, the scriptures show you how to build that trust right here. Read.
Separate thyself from thine enemies and take heed of thy friends.
Now, what is a faithful friend going to do? Read.
A faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that have found such an one have found a treasure.
Meaning it's hard to find a true friend. A real friend is hard to come by. Read.
Nothing doth countervail a faithful friend.
Uh-huh.
And his excellency is invaluable.
Read on.
A faithful friend is the medicine of life, and they that fear the Lord shall find him.
Wait a minute. It says those that fear the Lord are going to find a faithful friend. So if you're keeping of God's commandments, the blood of the covenant, you're going to find that type of person. And then you're going to forsake the water of the womb, which is your family. Why? Because they don't hold you to no type of regard. They don't hold you to no esteem, nothing. It's like, oh, because we're related, you ought to do what I say. Or you got to help me out. The last time I checked, isn't all the 12 tribes related? Why don't we help everybody else? Why is it that we have a dependency on our nuclear family, but we got a whole extended family outside of the house? Why we don't take that time to help them out either? Why? Because we don't consider ourselves family. We look at the next. We look at well, give me Tyrone Biggums. We look at him as our competitor, and we look at Jose as a stranger down the street. But that's your cousin. That's your brother. That's your cousin. We look at give me a native name. Tonto. Yeah, whatever that is.
Pocahontas.
Yeah, Pocahontas. Pocahontas. No. What's the other one? For Jeremiah. Geronimo. Yes. So we had Geronimo down the street, and we thinking that, oh yeah, he's Asian. No, fool, that's your cousin. But why don't we have that level of insight? Because we don't know what the Bible's saying. We'll call our enemy our friend. We'll call Esau our friend.
Yeah.
Over our own people.
Some of us are more loyal to our bosses and our co-workers than we are to our brothers and sisters and just laboring in the truth. We will come to work, headache, sick, overtime. We there. Hey, go over there and run these papers off. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We're going to do it with no problem. Come into school. Hey, sis, we need to take a picture. You got to be searching.
Why I got to do that? Why I got to do that?
You know what I'm saying?
I don't want you having all my data.
Exactly. So it's really something to think about. Do we really see each other as family members? Like, do we really see each other that way? Family members, we think about a family member, we're going to go through things together. We're going to have disagreements together. But the way we solve those issues is right here through the Bible, right? If you believe, correct.
Yes, if you believe. So going back to that, now we see that, yes, the family is actually bigger. The blood of the covenant is the covenant or the judgments of God's law is what binds us together. Oh, yeah, go ahead, officer, if you want to say something.
No, I was just trying to wait. The point I wanted to make was really about Sirach 6 and 7 when we think about proving. Because sometimes I think the mentality behind it sometimes is people will be like, well, I'm going to, give it some time, about a year or two or whatever, and then I should know this person enough and quote unquote, I'm proving her and we good. Like this, the whole idea of you proving or getting to know somebody, this is an ongoing, almost never ending process. Reason being is because when all of us come up in here, we should all be doing what? Yes. No, changing. All of us undergoing that process of repentance, and every year you should be changing. The way you think about certain things, you're going to evolve in your wisdom, your understanding, how you approach it, how you look at it, how you think about it. People are going to change. It should change over time. And guess what? If you're constantly interacting with that person, you're going to be noticing these changes. And you should be changing, and they should be noticing your changes. So this, y'all getting to know each other, this is something that's going to happen ongoing. It's not going to be a time limit you're going to sit on and be like, yeah, I know this person. Like, no. Y'all both should be growing, and y'all should both be seeing each other grow and learning each other as y'all growing. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, the idea of proving, you got to look at it from a long-term perspective, not, I'm going to get this person a year or two, and then, we good, I know him. Like, nah.
And then the way to I don't want to say find a friend, because we're not really looking for friends. But if you're, like in verse 7, it say you got to prove a friend and be not hasty to credit him. That also means you can't be hasty to accept credit. and it say a friend is not a friend for his own occasion and will not abide in the day of trouble. That means when people are going through things, are you there to help them? So the way that you find a faithful friend is to be a faithful person. It don't just happen. The birds of a feather, they say, flock together. So the Lord is going to put people around you that's like you. And if you're a person who exemplifies these traits, then people who have these traits are going to find you. You're not going to have to go look for them. It's going to be natural. So if you fixing you, then the friendship will come. But if you full of BS and you looking to have this faithful friend, you're not looking for a friend. You're looking for somebody that's convenient for you. Because most people only stick around for what you could do for them. And if you're that type of person, then you're going to constantly be flipping through people because you're here to use people and not to be a was it asset or liability? An asset. You're not here to be an asset to people. You're a liability to people. So if you're looking for a faithful friend, you got to become a faithful person.
Right. That's why that scripture, the first word in that verse is the most important. It says if, meaning you may get a friend, you may not get a friend in this truth, right? Because we got to prove all these people. So that's why it says if thou wouldest get a friend, meaning you may. It don't say it's for sure that you're gonna get one. You may not get a faithful friend. That's true.
And that's the same thing it's saying Sirach 2:1. Like if you come to serve the Lord. So if you're here to serve the Lord, you got to prepare for temptation. If you're gonna find a friend, you know what I'm saying? These things align with each other. You know.
Hey, let's get that Sirach 2:1.
The book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
And that temptation that's the judgments, the pain, the turmoil. You have to prepare for that stuff because it's going to happen. We just read it in Matthew 10. We read it in throughout the scriptures about turmoil, especially amongst your own family coming. Read.
Set thy heart aright.
You got to get your mind right in the law. Read.
And constantly endure.
Meaning this is a race for endurance. Who can stand the longest? Constant is you always going. Like what? Like the Energizer Bunny. Keep going and going. It never ends. Read.
And make not haste in the time of trouble.
Don't flee when trouble comes because the Lord is telling you that it's coming. Read.
Cleave unto him and depart not away.
So the closer that we cleave unto the Lord and keeping his commandments, we are going to find that faithful friend. We are going to find him or her. And y'all sisters that be like, oh yeah, I'm still proving this sister 10 years out. Man, y'all got the devil on you. Y'all just got the devil on you. I'm just be real with y'all. Oh yeah, we been through congregational trials. I've seen the inside of this sister house. I've been around their children, but yeah, I'm still proving them though. You a devil. You are the devil incarnate. How in the world, what more proof do you need? You've been in a personal space. When somebody go through the threshold of anybody's house, they trust you. There's certain individuals in this truth. They ain't letting everybody to their house. You ain't even gonna know where they live. And if you know where they live, that's an honor. That means it needs to stay between you and that person, not you advertising where everybody lives because they're on that side of town. No, it's not. It's honorable if that person has that invite. Oh yeah, you can come by. Yeah, it's all right. You can eat dinner with us. You can do this. That's an honor because the scriptures tell you don't invite every man into your house. So sisters, back on y'all. If y'all able to go over somebody's house and they trust you enough to be in a personal space and you have to utter out your mouth, you still proving that sister, you a devil. I'm going to just be straight up. You a devil. Because the men don't have that issue. And if they did, we going to chastise. We're going to get on them. But keep reading.
Verse 3, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end.
So, like I said before, you're increased at your last end. Sometimes you got to power down to level up. You got to go through stuff at your lowest, weakest point to actually find out how strong you really are. We get the concept in working out, but when it comes to God, oh, no, it's foreign. We gotta get past that. When you're at your weakest and you still finish through, hey, that shows that you got strong. You got a lot stronger.
And some of y'all don't have no friends because y'all don't do enough. You know, some of y'all just show up and y'all here on the Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? You don't put forth an effort to, you know, because the stuff that y'all see in the school, the banners that get put up, the feast days, the decorations, you know, the food that y'all get, the chairs that get set out, the cleaning, all this stuff is done by people who sacrifice their time for the Lord.
That's it.
So if you don't have friends, maybe you're not putting yourself in a position to sacrifice enough time, because some of y'all, as soon as the Sabbath class over, and for whatever reason, if it's a medical issue, that's between you and the Lord. But some of y'all, as soon as the class over, y'all out the door. Y'all don't stick around for no circle. Y'all don't stick around trying to clean up and do nothing. And you wonder why you don't have no friends. You know what I'm saying? If you've been here for a year, that shouldn't be the case. But if it is, you know, you have nobody to blame but yourself.
And then there's a scripture, I'm going to read it real quick. Sirach 6:5, it says, sweet language will multiply friends, and a fair-speaking tongue will increase kind greetings. Some of y'all just nasty. Bitter, evil. Oh, I'm still proving this, sister, though. That's why you're the devil. Yeah, mean Sabbath. With the bee resting face. Just mad all the time. It's like, man, come on. Will a smile crack your face? Like, come on. Yeah, it will. So we got to get past that. And this is being further in the blood of the covenant. So through this fire, we actually see, and those fires are your trials. Through those fires, you actually get to see who's in front of you. When people get stood up, when people's ranks get taken, when they have financial issues, how do they deal? If they have any issues going on in their house, how do they deal with the counsel that they're given, or do they reach out to counsel?
I was just about to say, a lot of times, brothers and sisters withhold information. They withhold things about themselves and they don't want to reveal. Those are stumbling blocks. You have to be able to get over those stumbling blocks and talk about your shortcomings, talk about your downfalls, talk about your fears. You have to talk to somebody about that, because if you don't, those things is what's going to hold you back. Those things going to hold you back at the end.
So you essentially holding yourself back from yourself. That's who's stopping you. Give me that video real quick, sis, about the gold refined. And read that scripture, Sirach 2:5 now.
Sirach chapter 2 and verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
You see how it says that gold is tried in the fire? Tried. It's proven in the fire. It's made manifest in fire. You know why? The more fire that hits that gold, every metal has a different melting point. And the metal will fall away from the gold because the gold's melting point is at a higher rate versus tin, copper, iron. Those are going to separate from the gold. So the fire has to get even more hotter for that gold to come out and you to be able to see it. Let show it. You can show it. This is refined gold right here. This is gold tried in the fire. And you see that all that oxygen? That's hot. See that? It's hot. You have to put it in water. These are all the different chemicals that's needed to separate it. You see how many processes they keep going into that fire? That's our trials. That's our tribulations. We have to keep going into fire to be that. That's what we're trying to be. So is it going to hurt when you're going through fire? Yes, duh. It's hot. It's hot.
And even with our relationships, you know, if you look at that, you know, that means it's going to be some arguing. It's going to be some back and forth. It's going to be some disagreements. But are you willing to continue to go through this process so we can come out on the other side as pure gold? That's with husband and wife. That's with brothers. That's with sisters. Like, our relationship is going to have to be tried. You know, we're going to have to get pushed to the edge to see if we really want to be here or not. And some people, because a lot of us been through it, like back in when the school got took, you know, a lot of them brothers that was here is not here. It's a whole different group of people. But the people that were around at that time, we have a different relationship because we stood the test of time. Even some sisters that was here in the old school, you know what I'm saying? They didn't seen all that. They've been through all that. So our relationship is a little bit different because of the shaking, because of the trial that we had to go through during that time. So likewise, y'all that's newly coming in, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, you're going to go through some things, you know. But the bigger question is, what have you done in between time to find a holding ground, to find something to keep you grounded? Because you can't get shook when these trials come. You got to be able to stand 10 toes down.
And then read that one more time, verse 5.
Sirach chapter 2 and verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
So the men that is tried in the furnace of adversity, you got to really think about it. These are those men and women that can withstand this heat. Those are the ones that became the gold. And in that process of refining gold, it's a process now. You got to heat it up multiple times to separate the different elements. Then you got to use chemicals, water, and it's a constant thing. Then you got to reheat it again, do it again, because it's different melting points that different things come out. So in like manner, the more mature we become in this truth, there's different sins or different parts of ourselves that it's gonna be revealed to us, and they're gonna be like, "What you gonna do? Are you gonna burn it out, or are you gonna hold on to it and burn away with it?"
Hey, and you can't get that purification at home by yourself.
Nope.
You cannot get it by yourself. You have to be around the brothers and the sisters to get those impurities up out those impurities up out of you. You know what I'm saying? You got to be tried. The spirits got to be tried. They got to be poked. They got to be prodded to see how those impurities going to float up to the top so we can get rid of it. Okay, this brother deal with anger. He got anger issues. We see that now. Now, brother, you're dealing with anger issues. We got to get that up out of you. You got to remove that. That's a stumbling block for you, right? But if you hiding that and you suppressing that, guess what? It's going to stay in that gold, and it's not going to be pure.
All right, I do want to get this case, Luke 16:9, because I'm not saying just for sake. If you got a good relationship with your family, all praise to the Most High. If you got a well enough relationship with them where you may be in trouble and you know they can help, all praise to the Most High. Ask upon them. I got you. Ask upon them. All right, read that.
The book of Luke, chapter 16 and verse 9. And I say unto you, make to yourselves friends of the mammon of unrighteousness, that when ye fail, they may receive you into everlasting habitations.
Because the friends of the mammon are those friends that you got through before the truth. And these type of individuals, they respect what you're doing. Meaning they may celebrate birthdays, but they're not going to talk to you about no birthday. They'll actually be ashamed and try to hide it from you. I actually know some people like that, where they won't even talk that way. They may celebrate Christmas, they may celebrate New Year's, but they know what you do, and they will not bring that around you. That's that respect that they have one to another. There are people like that. That's not even in this truth that actually hold stronger bonds than people with fringes in the border of blue. Yeah, I said it. There's people in the world of unrighteousness that have more of a code of ethics than people that have the book of the law. Something to think about. But there are those friends. Those friends, keep those. Those are the ones that y'all talk cordially. Y'all cool. You respect. They respect what you're doing. Hey, you already told them what you against. They respect it enough not to even bother you with it. That right there, that's a friend of the mammon. Sometimes, hey, you may fall on hard times. They can help you because they like, yeah, this is a good brother. This is a good sister. I know him. I may not believe what they believe in, but that's a good person. I definitely know this person. So those type of people, yes, keep a hold of them.
Right.
Yes,
There's clear boundaries that got to be set. Who is in here believes that they cannot have a relationship with their family? Like, who believes that? Anybody? Think they can't call their mama, their brother, their sister? Nobody in here believe that. All praise.
All praise.
Real quick, give me Matthew 10:34. I think you read this already. But there are boundaries. It's a difference. It is definitely a difference between your worldly family member and your family member here, right? Read that.
The book of Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword.
Hey, what is a sword used for? It's used to divide. It's used to cut. It's a difference. Read.
For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
Your foes going to be your people of your own household, the ones who are not keeping the commandments. They're going to be your foes. Read on.
He that love a father or mother more than me.
So wait a minute. He said he that love his father more than me. But wait a minute. The scriptures say honor thy father and thy mother. But what is that saying though? What is that saying? Why is it saying honor? Wait a minute. I'm supposed to honor my mother and my father, but it's saying he that love his father more than me is not worthy of me. What does that mean? Anybody know? Go ahead. Right. I'm not gonna put the commandments. I'm not gonna put nobody over God's laws. I'm not gonna put nobody over that. I'm not gonna break the Sabbath for my mama. Mom, you gotta wait. I will buy you anything, but it ain't gonna be on the Sabbath.
Right.
It ain't. I'm not doing that because that is putting my mother over the Most High God. Don't mean I can't buy my mama nothing. Don't mean I can't give my mama no money. But I'm not gonna do it on the Sabbath. Right? Read.
He that love a father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that love a son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
The same thing go for the kids. You can't put your kids over Most High God. Read.
And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me.
Sometimes that's our cross that we got to bear. We love our worldly family members so much that we can't separate the two. We can't separate it. And Christ said, that's your cross that you got to bear. You got to carry that. Go ahead, Austin.
And then Jeremiah said the same thing. We'll trim our ways to seek love because it was going on at that time. We trim our ways because we want the admiration of our family that we know that don't have our best interests at heart. Now, in closing, now we need to think what truly is a family now. And we just read it. We read all the attributes of what makes a family member, the keeping of God's commandments and that accountability toward the judgments of God's commandments. That's the blood of the covenant. That's that accountability that you have toward that person or persons, and then y'all hold each other accountable. Also, put up the thumbnail, IT. So now I really want y'all to see that the saying is not blood is thicker than water. Don't mean nothing about your family being important than everything else. Again, it is the blood of the covenant. Those are the tribulations and temptations that you go through is thicker than the water of the womb, meaning your actual family members. The temptations that we all go through and we bind off that and go to the scriptures to hold each other accountable, that is our true family. That's what Christ was saying. This is my mother. This is my father. These are my brethren, those that keep the laws of God. All right? All right, that's my time. All praise to the Most High. Hey, I pray y'all brothers and sisters learned something today. All praise. Shalom. Most High Christ bless.
Across the earth, the prophets move. From city streets to distant lands, the message is the same. Israel must rise. Through every quest, every journey, the truth spreads. No border can contain it. No distance can silence it. Our nation lives in every moment. In joy, we celebrate marriages. In sorrow, we honor our dead. On the Sabbath, we gather as one. Families rejoicing together, bound by the commandments of God. Yet are we tried?
From the stones in Kenya to the hatred in Montana, we endure as a soldier of the Lord. And still, the mission expands. On the airwaves, on the screens, in every nation under heaven, Israel's voice is heard. We build our communities. We raise our children in royalty. We restore what was broken. We clean what was defiled. We show the world who we are. This is Israel united in Christ. Nation in motion. Nation endures.